Hello, guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Chronicons, and you are back to look at brand new Picard things. Because did you know, Stuart, you do know, because we talked about it ad nauseum now already, they released a featurette and a scene in a recent Ready Room about Picard, a lot of information, a lot of things, a lot of visuals, and for us, seeing everything with even that context is like, oh my god, that's a thing, let's analyse, theorise, discuss, and today we're going to first look that bridge with the little morsels they give us. Because you imagine in the full show, there'll be like an establishing shot and we'll see the whole thing, and this we're getting like the certain shots that it's like, yes, there's something to look at new.
I mean, it's always great to get new stuff, especially new starships, and we haven't really got many new set interiors. For Season 1, we had like the La Serena and nothing Starfleet, so it was nice to have this for sure. Right now, it's just the bridge, and I love that they built this set. It does feel kind of Discovery-esque, though. It feels like the Disco Prize a little bit. I mean, at first glance, there's just a lot about it that really says that. A lot of the lights, the spotlights kind of shining down and in your face and just everything lit. So I do like it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. It just seems pretty big, which we'll get to in a second. But how about you? Were you excited to see it? I know you're big into the sets and that kind of thing.
I've got more so, and I've been texturing them for like 7 months now, yeah. So, yeah, it's fun what you do and don't see as connective tissue, and yes, certainly Discovery has poisoned the well a little bit in terms of art design, because they just ignored interior art design aesthetic and just did their own thing, while trying to look modern. So now the new shows are trying to look modern, but also TNG linking, but Discovery's already kind of beaten that to the punch, so how do you look different? And the answer is you don't really look different, except you make the doors red as they were on the E, the chairs leather as they were on the E, and L-cars. There's really not much they've done to else, because everything else has kind of been everyone else's art aesthetic. They've gone for a few too many neons, I think. It's a bit too over the top. They didn't need as many. I know they're going for self-illumination over all things, but that's also how the E was lit and Voyager was lit sometimes. And so it's I like what I see so far, but it doesn't feel like this brand new post-TNG aesthetic, and it doesn't even feel like TNG aesthetic. So it's an odd one to look at. What really saves it is the L-cars and the uniform choice. That really, really helps it. But if you remove those things, it would be hard-pressed to not call it a Discovery era ship.
Yeah, because all the things you pointed out, like they can change the door colors, they can change the seats, they can change the L-cars displays, and they can change the uniforms. A lot of people in our live thought this was filmed on the Disco Enterprise bridge, just reconfigured it a bit. And I got to point out, Picard's filmed in L.A., Discovery and this Strange New Worlds are filmed in Toronto, so I doubt very much that they did that. This hopefully is a new set in LA that they've done, because I just don't know why it's so similar. Like visually, it looks similar to me, and my brain can't quite turn it off yet. I think I have to see it more in motion and more spend more time on the bridge. But
it also doesn't help that Discovery use the same red alert klaxons of post TNG and some of the red alert looks. So they even pulled visuals from later Trek, whereas Trek has always been consistent with what eras equal what lights, sounds, and smells. And then if you mix them up, it's like, well, it just feels like Discovery again, because Discovery, like I said, poisoned the well. I know it isn't the Discovery Prize bridge, because the amount of redress would be required to be ripping apart consoles. Yeah. I mean, ripping apart almost the entire set to just put some L-cars panels in. It's not worth it for the money, especially when they're trying to film as well. It would be basically undoing the entire set to redo a new set, and it's just not.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that when they redress bridges, for like when they did the Enterprise D Battle Bridge and they used the original like Enterprise bridge, they weren't using that for filming, so they could take the time to rip it apart and reconfigure it. And it's not like they need the other guys walking in the day. So yeah.
Yeah, if you said to the Stranger Worlds guys, you can't use your bridge set for 2.5 weeks, they'd be like, and that's rushed. That'd be quick, because this would take a good couple of days to read. Because this isn't redress. This would be a rebuild. This would be we're just going to keep the wood structure up. And besides anyway. But I do like the obvious small things of the turbolift style and the chairs. I guess we've yet to see if they've got carpet, because that is a Star Trek trope. We know in Discovery it's all about the shiny, preeny metal, which just is reflective and over the top. I'm hoping they'll be logical here and just go with carpet, because that's always been the thing, except some of the Star Trek movies when they were going for a slightly different feel, etc. I don't know, just add something to the overall Because these aren't warships, especially a Stargazer. That's not, the Zhenhe might be the most advanced warship in Starfleet history. The Stargazer is a science ship, but you tend to recommission with the same mission profile. That's the point. You're not, you wouldn't give the Stargazer to be the new Prometheus class because symbolically it represents wrong things for what you're trying to go for. So this is a science ship. So give it the nice carpeted floor,
I was going to say, carpeted floors would be a lot easier to film with. You'd think there'd be less noise, but hey, what do I know?
No squeaking, less reflection.
Yeah.
The second set of pictures, though, is the view screen, window screen, view screen, window screen.
Seems ginormously long.
Yes.
Seems very widescreen, and even if you look, you can see the helm, you can see the operations guy way in the distance. Like, can you even? You have to yell at him. I don't know. It seems huge here, and I don't know why. It's just so big. But, yeah.
Now, a few things I'm thinking here straight away. The way the window frame looks like bookship. That extremely long curved. Obviously, it isn't bookship, but I'm saying that's what I get from that. Is it a Windows at view screen? So, obviously, J.J. Abrams and Gats Kurtzman, poisoned the well by the view screen window. Well, it's not a view screen, it's a window. However, I'm looking at this. There is a slot in the top of the ship that we've seen in another view where that could be something. But you should see the hull outside that front view. Because the saucer, it's in the middle. You should see the entire saucer. If you can't see any saucer, then maybe it's a view screen which is choosing to be further than that. Because you would see it, surely. I mean, Discovery, there isn't as much saucer. Well, there is actually, but they do choose not to show it, I guess. But you should see a saucer. So maybe that's a hint. Because especially that second view, you're looking down. There's a saucer there. Is that a hint? Maybe it is a view screen window and just looks like a window, but it's a view screen?
Well, all the window view screens are also view screens because they have the overlays. But I know what you mean. It's just weird with camera angles and stuff, and seeing how the geometry of the ship is. It's hard to say really how it would look.
Especially if we'll show a picture of the thing in the edit. It's in a little alcove, so there's hull underneath it and a wall. So you should see definitely on that view some hull on the left. But there's nothing.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, because it is kind of inset with the
Yeah, you'd see something. So that's interesting because if that's not a window, it's actually just a view screen. Solves that big problem.
Which isn't a big problem to a lot of people, and we get it. However,
but it is to probably 51% at least of people. Silent majority. But design-wise, you can see a wraparound view vibe very minimally on the two bottom consoles, and those two look a lot closer than the top one, which look, like I say, extremely far apart. That must be a wide-angle lens to the extreme, because just proportionally the distance can't match up. So I'm hoping it makes more logical sense.
And there's very interesting large screen TVs or LCARS displays on each side, which standing stations, that's cool. And they actually have LCARS on them, so thank you to Michael Okuda for that anyway. It's good to see LCARS in Picard again.
They look a bit muddy to me, though, compared to the TNG oranges.
Oh, they do, but...
They don't... I know Nemesis went blue as well, and I don't like how they looked. I think that was their worst incarnation. But the blue gets lost in the grey of the art design. They don't have it anywhere near the... I mean, you look at the two front consoles. In TNG, you see it, you feel it. There, they don't... They get lost in the noise of the... Obviously, you can't change it now, they're long since committed, but I don't know why exactly they went for that. Should have just reverted back, etc. I will say, though, those two side consoles now give me the Discovery vibes of their standing consoles, the big plexiglass just now there rather than at the side. What would be great, though, is if they either weren't manned a lot of the time, or if they... Basically, if they shifted so they were displays for the captain, because I don't want Rios to have holographic bullshit with him. Like, get rid of that, right? So if those are big displays that he can then refer to as being more information, that'd be useful. I could see that being kind of cool. You know, he says, Tactical 2, show a tactical examination, and there's a display, and it's fully whatever. Would be kind of cool. Because they're in eye shot of him, so they're either be distracting or useful. If you look at any other bridges, nothing is distracting the captain except the front two, and those are the officers that are hiding most of the displays. You know?
Yeah, it would make for great gameplay. You got your main view screen, you got your follow camera on your enemy, and over here you got all your stuff, all your power allocation. Yeah.
No, for real. Like then that would work really well, I think. Well, it does say Science 1 though. You can see on the bottom. That's a weird place to put Science 1. If you go back to the first view, though, and this is odd, so the tour lifts are going to be in roughly the same place they always are, and you can kind of see, because she walks to meet the captain in the middle. So that's the left-hand side of the bridge, but there's no back consoles. There's a greebly wall, which is not a console. There's a standing console, but there's no wall consoles, and if that left-hand side alcove is the ready room, or the briefing room, there's almost no consoles on that left side of the bridge. You're looking at the reverse, the right-hand side, there is a console set. So it looks like there might be no back consoles at all, and there's just side consoles. So those front-standing consoles are very important, because there's less actual wall consoles. Now they're like freestanding consoles, which is odd. So it's very much front half facing control usage. The back half is literally none, whereas normally it'd be the exact opposite. Or somewhat the opposite.
I mean, we were just talking about it being a science ship, but if you look at that shot of the back of the bridge, the left side says phaser banks, and it's a huge display. The right side is photon torpedoes, and it's a huge display, and in the middle is tactical. So that whole back part is dedicated to, like, weapons. It just seems like an odd choice. I didn't even notice that till I zoomed in. But, oh my god.
I mean, if you have... If all the science consoles are moving consoles, so you have, freestanding officers that can swap around, potentially you got 4 science or whatever, big tactical half the bridge, big engineering half the bridge, I'd be okay with that. This is post-Dominion War, post-Romulus being real dicks. So I would be, it is a bit weird to have a dedicated photon or phaser, because in this scene specifically, Rios is just talking to her about, we need your help for a mission. They're not in the battle scene yet, so to have literally 2 distinct weapon doesn't really work, because Worf, that's the one tactical station on the Enterprise D, and he has buttons for photon and phaser, and they're buttons. In this, they have entire wall consoles, as you say, good catch, for phaser banks. So, bit strange, but we'll see.
Yeah. And hopefully we do get more of the interiors and just like a bit of an episode.
Several episodes.
They built a set, so excited for that.
But it's likely it will be redressed into the alternate universe villain ship bridge, which would make sense. So they get more use out of it, which is great, because I want to see alternate universe ships too.
We like our ships here, and hopefully you guys do too. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought about the bridge design and layout, anything you noticed, anything we didn't hit on. Keep in mind this is a first look. Once the show actually is airing and we're reviewing the episodes, we'll have more detailed breakdowns and analysis and comparisons, because we'll get to see a lot more cool stuff. So make sure you get notified that we are doing that. And join us for the live discussions and live reviews as well.
Mm-hmm. And of course, what we do directly, because all the stuff is free at the point of entry. You click it, you watch it, you enjoy it. Then join our lives and discuss theories and super chat with us. Whatever you want to think, thoughts, comments, questions, and we're now going to have thoughts and comments about these new designs, so put them in those. And of course, super chat. Join the channel on YouTube, join Patreon on Patreon, and support the PayPal at Trekyards@hotmail.com. Always, Stuart.
That's
always.
Right. That's right. So until next time, guys. I am Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Kungs.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.